The 12% PF contribution headline sounds familiar, but EPF 2026 changes many parts, like the new amnesty schemes, backdated compliance records, digital enforcement, contract labor, EPF compliance that catches employers off guard and leaves very little time to adjust. For most employers, the baseline hasn't moved. EPF still means 12% from the employer and 12% from the employee. The lower 10% rate only applies to selected establishments, including approved insolvency resolution or repayment plan cases, and certain specified industries. The wage ceiling itself stays where it is at 15,000 rupees a month. Anything above that only counts if both employer and employee choose to opt in together. Then, from 29th of June to 2026, EDLI adds a 0.5% employer contribution, with nothing deducted from the employee, and any delay starts attracting 12% simple interest from the due date. And because the EPF rate notification is treated as effective from 21st November 2025, payroll teams need to reconcile records starting from that date, not from when they first saw the update. One relief window is the employees' enrollment campaign. It runs from 1st July to 31st October 2026 for employees missed between April 2009 and March 2026, with the employee share waived where nothing was ever deducted and damages capped at 100 rupees per establishment. What the second window, called VISHWAS, stays open for 6 months from 29 June 2026. It helps settle old PF damages disputes at reduced rates. But interest still has to be paid, and any pending appeals have to be withdrawn to use it. And for eligible private PF trusts that were never formally notified, AMNESTY offers a route back into compliance through a special audit and retrospective validation. For members, the big simplification is this. Partial withdrawals now sit under three buckets: essential needs, housing, and special circumstances. When a member makes a partial withdrawal, at least 25% of the balance now has to stay in the account after the payout. Claims are also moving faster, with a 20-day settlement target. And Aadhaar, Yuan, plus portal filing creating a much stronger electronic trail from submission to approval. So better member service now depends on tighter employer proof and cleaner filing habits, because if the records are thin or inconsistent, the delay shows up immediately at claim stage. If your contractor skips or short pays PF, that liability doesn't stop with them. The principal employer can still be pulled in because the law follows the missing deposit back to the workers on your site. So the control has to happen every month. Check the portal, reconcile worker by worker, and make sure each Shalan matches the people who were actually deployed, not just the names a vendor uploaded. Start with a full look back to November 21st, 2025. Reconcile payroll, recheck EPF, EDLI, and interest line by line, match every employee and contract worker to a verified UAN, then test each case for EEC, VISHWAS, or AMNESTY before those windows shut. The percentages may look unchanged, but the real exposure is different now. If your data is weak or you move late, the cost shows up in backdated gaps, interest missed relief, and claims that stall when the record doesn't hold up. Now, pressure test the parts of your model that usually get left untouched. Recheck your employee mix, contractor setup, and any above ceiling PF arrangements to see whether the 2026 scheme changes how those groups should be handled. Then make sure the right owners are already lined up for what comes next. Payroll, HR, compliance, and vendor managers need to be ready for the new dates, digital filing flow, and each transition deadline before the calendar starts driving the risk. What matters now is acting while the fix is still easier than the fallout. Reconcile, register, resolve, and regularize now before today's gaps turn into tomorrow's liabilities. Any questions? Ask C-Quel. Log on to C-Quel.com or mail info@C-Quel.com.